She's the baddest boo with the natural do. She's taking the talents to the new YouTube. If you like her style, please don't bite. Give it a thumbs up, comment, and please subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to another beautiful day that God has blessed us with. I just wanted to talk to you guys about my first week of my preceptorship at the hospital that I'm working at. This is my very first nursing career, so I'm fresh out of school, ready to start doing all of my clinical skills and transfer from my didactic period into acute care. So, of course, on the very first day, I was completely nervous of everything, just as anybody would be, because now you're going into a place where you are now responsible as a nurse for the patient care and for human lives, So you're not just sitting there and learning about what's going on and all of the types of diseases and clinical processes that you can put into play, but you're actually working them out and acting them out. So when I was able to do that, I was just sitting there and really soaking in as much information as I could from my preceptor, because I wanted to know some of the things to expect and really just take down as many notes as I could. I was able to do things like pass different medications. If the PCA needed help with anything, I would do that. Just interact with the patients, do assessments, things like that. But there's so many more things that go into nursing than just doing your assessments and passing medications. You have to critically think throughout the whole day and just realize that, okay, if a patient is going in for a procedure, or if they're going in for imaging and they have a lot of pain throughout their body, before they get transferred from the bed to the stretcher or the bed to the procedure area, we need to make sure that they're medicated for pain medication so that they're not sitting there completely miserable, or maybe even to the point where they have to refuse the procedure and delay treatment for whatever disease process that they may have. And there's just so much more that goes with that, but I just wanted to tell you about my first day going into my second week. So my first day, I was just like a baby, taking little baby steps. You know how when your babies are walking, they're hesitant as they walk. So I was hesitant in everything that I did. I would sit there and be like, okay, I know this patient needs medication at this time, or I know I need to do my assessments at this time, but then there's a call add-on in this room that's also assigned to me, and I'm trying to figure out what should I do first. It's all about prioritization and delegation too. Those are some of the things that I did struggle with in nursing school, because it all comes with experience. Learning about it is one thing, but when you actually are able to do hands-on things on the job, that's when you start realizing, okay, this will take precedence over this because of this reason. So that would be some of the things that I would struggle with that day. And I was also thinking to myself, how am I going to be able to manage my time? Having a full patient load, which I will be having by the end of this preceptorship, is something that I'm like, okay, I'm striving towards that goal, but I need to figure out ways to manage my time, because during my first week, I'm not going to lie, I was definitely struggling with my time. I'm a procrastinator at heart, I'm not going to lie, but I do, it's been pounded into my brain to manage my time wisely. And I've just been sitting here trying to figure out, okay, how can I do that? Because walking fast from place to place is not going to get it. I have to literally try to plan out my day and expect interruptions and changes to that plan, because nursing is an ever-changing thing. And throughout the day, you're not going to be able to carry out the plan that you brilliantly thought up of whenever you were getting ready to go into work. So I'm just trying to figure out a baseline. When I come in, I'm going to obviously take a report, because I need to know about the patients that I'm going to be caring for. And then I need to go through the different steps. Do I do my assessments first? Do I look at all the morning labs? Just have a little bit of a plan there, so then whenever the plans get tweaked, I know that I can always fall back on my original plan should I have time throughout the day. So charting was another thing. Whenever it came to charting, I probably only charted on the actual computer system maybe 2 or 3 times throughout nursing school whenever I would go to the clinical sites. But now, like, I'm responsible for charting. So it's just knowing exactly what to put in there, because they always say if you didn't chart it, it didn't happen. And you don't want to worry about that type of thing should you be called into court for any reason in the future. So I'm getting the hang of that. I'm starting to understand why certain things are charted the way they are, just for clarity's sake, because you don't want to chart absolutely everything that happened throughout the day. Like, I went into the patient's room and they ate breakfast, and then you do that for every single meal. It's like, you don't have to do that for every single meal. They have a little preset thing where you can say the patient ate this percentage of their breakfast, and that's all you have to write. You don't have to go through the details. They may have eaten 1/4 of their mashed potatoes or half of their Salisbury steak. Like, that's not necessary. So just learning that and not to be so incredibly detailed in my charting, that's one of the things that I've learned. And also with making sure that I do things at the right times. So I don't want to sit here and this is something that my preceptor has gotten on my case about, and wait till the very end of the day to do all of my charting from the morning. I need to make sure that I see all of my patients, do whatever I need to do for them, and then sit down and at least chart a little bit, and then I can chart throughout the day. Rather than saying, okay, I'm just going to try to remember everything that I did this morning and wait 12 hours later and say, okay, I'm going to do this now right before a shift change. That's just too confusing. It's too much. And you risk not only delaying yourself, but delaying the person who's getting ready to take a report from you. So that's another thing that I've learned. Right now, I am currently up to doing 2 full patients on my own. I started my second week yesterday, which nurses have 3 days and it's 12-hour shifts. So my first 3 days, the first day, of course, I was just like, I don't want to say a fish out of water, because I have my nursing knowledge in my brain from what I learned in school, but I was definitely someone who didn't have any experience. So that was me the first day. And the second day I took on 1 patient, and that patient had a lot of extensive medical issues. And I did that to myself on purpose, because a lot of people may want to start out, okay, let's do the easiest patient. I did this on purpose. The patient had a lot of procedures, a lot of tests, a lot of labs that needed to be drawn, because I wanted to know straight out the bat, what was it going to be like to have a patient with a lot of medical surgical issues. I am on a med surg floor, so I just wanted to use my critical thinking knowledge to put all the pieces together and understand why we had to do all these different things, and then work my way to doing, you know, my regular med surg patient, which could be someone who's coming in for maybe a stroke, or they're coming in for they're recovering from maybe like pneumonia or something like that, you know. Just a little side note, my med surg unit, because I am located at a smaller hospital, it's kind of like the catch-all unit. So we have a lot of different types of patients. It's not just your basic med surg floor, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, but we also have cancer patients, so an oncology unit. We have a hospice, and we also have Baker-acted patients. So there's a lot of different things that can go into play there, and I chose that purposely because I also wanted to have a broad range of patients that I would be able to learn about. Because of course in the future, like if I want to specialize in anything, then I will have that knowledge base, not just from textbook, but also from experience. So this is for my benefit, and also for the patient's benefit, of course, because I'd like to know more about all types of patients, just in case I want to go any place within the hospital system. So I feel like on my third day, I was gaining more confidence in just taking on everything by myself. And by my fourth day, which is the beginning of my second week, I was able to manage 2 full patients on my own. Family presence, I was able to manage that, no problem. I also was able to help out a lot of people on the floor because we were a little short-staffed, so I was able to help them out in making sure that they got their procedures done. So I feel more confident as a nurse by my 4th day. What is that, 48 hours in? So for those of you who may be starting out in your nursing career, it's something that, yes, it makes you nervous whenever you're going on the floor and you have zero experience like me. If you have experience, this will be a little bit easier of a transition for you. But for those of us who don't have any experience, it's nerve-wracking. But just go in there and be confident. And if you have questions, please, please, please ask. If you have, and I know that not everybody has a preceptor who they feel comfortable asking questions, but try to go to somebody on the floor that you feel comfortable asking questions. I even learned things from the PCAs about certain things that I was like, okay, like this is really helpful. I'm glad that you told me this little tip. Or, something that I just didn't know about a certain thing that you do for a patient. So just try to go to somebody that you feel comfortable with to ask those questions, because it is so important. Like I said before, people's lives are in your hands, and it's better to be sure about something than to fake confidence about an answer that you think may be right. So definitely confirm that with whoever is knowledgeable about what you're trying to accomplish. And yeah, if you don't know something, just admit that you don't know. You don't have to say, oh, I'm a new nurse, I don't know. You don't have to say it like that. If someone asks you a question, a patient, a coworker, a doctor, whoever it is, just say, like, I would like to give you an answer for that, but I need to check with someone else to make sure. That's all you have to say. In that way, it doesn't make you look too much of a novice nurse. And it also means, okay, this person really cares about getting an answer to my question, and they're going to make sure that whatever information they give me is correct. So those are basically some of the tips that I have for you guys. I do advise that if you have a preceptor, to arrive, I would say 10 to 15 minutes early, just so you'll be able to take a look at the patient list and the census that they have for the day and get all your stuff together, because that's one thing that I did make a mistake on for the first day. I went into the floor, what was it, like 4 minutes early? Not a good idea. I was able to clock in on time, but I had to go to the break room. I had to put my lunch away, I put my stuff in the locker, I had to get all the supplies that I needed for the day, like, my little notebook to take report, and my pen light, my scissors, my stethoscope. It was just too much. And I look like a hot mess, because then I'm walking into the morning huddle when it's already in progress. Don't do that. Save yourself and just say, you know what, like, I'm going to get up just 10-15 minutes early so I can be at work 10-15 minutes early, and I don't have to rush. It'll give me time to drink some water. That's very important. Being dehydrated throughout a 12-hour shift is very bad. You don't want to do that. And I was told during my orientation that if you are a new nurse and you've never done stuff like this before, you are more likely to get a UTI because you're just not drinking enough water. You have all this concentrated urine just sitting in your bladder for a half a day, and you haven't done anything to get your kidneys working like they normally would. You need to drink some water, and it's okay to go to the bathroom. You're gonna have, even if you feel like you don't have time, you're gonna have time to go to the bathroom, because with a patient load of 7, my preceptor has time to go to the bathroom. You're gonna have time to go to the bathroom. Don't let anybody tell you different. Also, make sure you bring a good nutritious lunch. I am currently on an intermittent fasting level, so my body has personally gotten used to going a long period of time without eating, and then having a nice nutritious meal during the middle of the day so that I can keep sustaining myself. So that has worked for me. If that does not work for you, and you are the type of person who has to eat breakfast. Don't sit there and be like, it's too early in the morning, I'm just not gonna eat. Eat your breakfast, because if you're used to eating at 9 o'clock in the morning, come 9 o'clock, if you are on the type of floor that is very busy, you're not gonna be able to eat breakfast. And you're gonna be cranky, you're not gonna be able to concentrate, you're gonna be sluggish. Don't do that to yourself. Just come prepared, keep an open mind while you're there, because you're there to learn. And yes, you're probably going to feel like a lot of nurses feel when they first start off. Like, I did all this hard work in nursing school, like why am I not getting the hang of things? Like, why is it taking me so long? And I feel that way, you know? And I'm sitting here like, I know that I can do this, but for some reason, like, I just can't grasp everything. You're going to be overwhelmed with information when you start out. So don't sit here with the expectation that if you have a preceptor who's been there for 20 years and they're just good at everything, they know who everybody is, who to call for this and who to call for that, that you're going to be like that after the first or second week. You're not going to be like that. You may not even be like that after your first year. Because remember, they have 20 years of experience. You have 2 days of experience, you know? So just be real with yourself and know that these types of things take time. But of course, strive to be as best as you can be, because at the end of the day, you're here because you want to make a difference in patients' lives. And you've already done really the hard part, which was nursing school. Now you have a job, you're working as a practicing nurse, and you're here to learn all the hands-on skills. And that will pair with your critical thinking that you had already developed in nursing school, and you're going to be fine. If you have any experiences or words of encouragement to offer anybody, please leave that in the comments below. But it was nice telling you about my experience. I'll keep you guys updated throughout the time, you know, because I'm not going to lie, it would be cool because one of my goals is to be Nurse of the Year 1 year. So I'm going to try to keep you guys updated on that. I also wanted to kind of give you more of a little story time of my experience throughout nursing school. Because I feel like that would be very helpful to a lot of you who haven't been to nursing school and maybe starting out going to nursing school, because I have a whole background before nursing school that I need to tell you guys about. So anyway, I hope everybody has a lovely day, and thank you for watching. Bye.